Kick your shoes off, take a load off. Don't go nowhere till the show's off. Oh, you know it's gonna be a movie when you got Cletus Cassidy on your TV. Yeah, already know Mr. Funny Man. Coming to you and making you laugh again. Started off on the radio, now we got the Cletus Cassidy Show. Funny Man, coming to you and making you laugh again. Started off on the radio, now we got the Cletus Cassidy Show.
This is me all up in you, all up in your living, not all up in you. Oh my gosh, that came out completely wrong. That's me all up in your screen this morning. I'm not all up in anyone. That's that was a rough beginning. That was a rough beginning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of See You in the Morning. I am, of course, your host, Cletus Cassidy. And of course, somebody you may be tuning in for the first time, just wondering to yourself, well, what in the world is See You in the Morning? Man, I'll tell you. It's my horrible idea to get up in the morning and just talk. Just to come from my inner Shondo. And anything can happen on this show, and anything can be discussed. As you can see, I just assaulted everybody this morning. I just had a huge case of SVU. If somebody called Olivia Benson, I was all up in you without you even asking. That was rude of me, and I apologize. If this is your first time hearing this, you're about to experience something so cold if you've watched this show before. And you found it not robbery to tune in and watch one more time. Well, I thank you. I really do. I am appreciative. Don't let anybody tell you that I'm not. I am appreciative of you tuning in. Now, what this show is, it's weird. It can go a million different ways. You never really know what's gonna happen on this show. If I can be honest. I just want to be honest. Well, today is Friday, end of the week, and the only thing that happens on the show that's consistent, is that I get up in the morning and I speak to the first three people that speak to me. I speak to everybody. I try to. Sometimes, based on the way that people come into the show, I'm not able to speak to everybody. And that's just me. I'm not able to speak to everybody right when they call, but I give it my best. I gave my best, but I guess my best wasn't good enough. But that's how I start the show off. And the first three people that speak and say good morning to me, they get the M&Ms, the MMMs, the morning mythical medals. It's not something that you can hold on to, take away, but it is something that you can say, hey man, I accomplished something today. I won a medal on Cletus's show. And so that's what we start off with. Winning the bronze medal today for the third person to speak to me this morning is Ida Seaborn. Ida. IDA. That's IDA. Miss IDA Seaborn. It's Ida, but I can call her IDA if you're going to keep coming on my show. Winning the silver is Betty Burnett, BB. And winning the gold is TT, Tiny and Tasty, Crystal Pernell. So TT winning the gold, Betty with the silver, and IDA with the bronze. Almost here is Tamika, Tamesia, and Thomasia Riddick. Welcome all three of you all. Wilberta's here. Crystal Sex Appeal. Melissa Kutha like Luther is in the building. Lisa Hill is here, no relation to Lauren. Emmy Time, Emmy Place. Michelle McKinney is in the building. PP, Patricia Pippin. Denzel. Yeah, it's a lot happening, Denzel. We're going to talk about all of that today. Dolores is in the building. The Pride of North Carolina, Courtney Weston and Murphy. My man JP, what up though? JP and I had a discussion yesterday. I'm going to talk about that briefly on the show. Today's show is kind of weird. It's a hodgepodge of stuff. It's just stuff that I woke up thinking about this morning. Literally woke up thinking about this morning. Franita Yes, roar Lions roar. Y'all got a playoff game this weekend. Proud of the Lions. After years of being the stepchildren of the NFL, they're finally successful. Goodness. My man Snoop, big shout out to Snoop, man. Came through in a big way, mighty big way yesterday. Out there hanging up TVs and stuff. My man Keith Brown, Shannon is in the building. Keisha Maxwell is in the building. Joyce Brown is in the building. Candy, what up? What up? What up? Well, Bird, I think that's your second time speaking. Oh man, thank you, Fernita. I appreciate that. Lakeisha's in the building. Aries, been gone for a little bit. Good morning to you. And Delisa's in the building as well. So let's get to a couple of things this morning. And I'm telling y'all, I'm telling you now, today may be a little bit weird. Today may be a little weird. Today, some of the discussion might be a little bit weird. And if it is weird, just kind of push through. You know, if it gets a little strange, just push through. I believe you can do it. Just push through it. Just push through it. I want to start today's show with, they keep telling us we're in a recession, you know, and I want to believe that we're recessional. I want to believe that this recession is happening. I really do. But I don't. I don't believe that we're in a recession at all. I believe somebody made this whole recession up. There's not really a recession happening. I think that they were saying that. And I'm going to tell you why. I was driving through my own neighborhood yesterday, and I get kind of concerned about stuff. I was driving through my own neighborhood, and I noticed something in my neighborhood. Somebody was parked in the neighborhood. And, you know, I did not grow up as a drug dealer. That's not one of the things I grew up as, but I knew a lot of them. You know, I grew up in some lower rent areas. All right. Let's not call them the projects. Let's just say I lived in some lower rent areas, some areas where you didn't have to pay a lot to live there. So there were certain habits that you picked up when you lived in those areas that you knew. There was things that you knew to do or not to do. There were some joys and some pleasures that we had that kids today don't have, like going outside. Kids don't go outside anymore. I don't know. My son has never asked me, can he go outside? Never been like, hey, Dad, can I just go outside for a little bit? I would allow it. I would be like, man, go ahead. I've trained him well on life and how to stay away from strangers. He's picked up. He's a large young man. He's my height and size. Not easily kidnappable. So I'm okay with him going outside. He's reached a non-kidnapping weight. I think that's important. Kids just don't go outside anymore. It's just nowhere that you can go. So kids ain't outside no more. That used to be a joy. I used to remember us, and I saw a picture of it the other day. In my neighborhood, there was I guess it was the electric company. Before they were Dominion Power, I think they were just like General Electric or something like that. They used to have a box that sit in the neighborhood, I guess controlled all the electricity for the neighborhood. It was a great meeting spot. We would sit, we would reflect on life. The boys in the neighborhood, whatever season it was in sports on TV, it was that season in the neighborhood. Football season, it was Vepco. You're right. Yep. Whatever the season was, we played it. We met on the green box. We played outside. If it was football season, everybody was playing football all year. If it was basketball season, we found a way to play basketball. We didn't have a basketball court in my neighborhood, but we found a way to play basketball. We used to wrestle. Just like we were risking our lives out there wrestling. We didn't realize wrestling wasn't real. We thought wrestling was real. We didn't know it was fake. But we was out there doing every move. I can tell y'all now that most of my knee injuries are because I was putting a figure 4 leg lock a lot as a kid. I was putting the figure 4 leg lock way too often. And listen, it hurts in real life. We didn't know that you shouldn't be doing this to each other. We didn't know. We suplexing each other. You hit the ground, boom, concussed. You didn't know you was concussed. There was no referee. Every match was an extreme match. We would develop tag team partners. We were keeping up with who got the belts. Me and my boy Daryl Ruffin, man, we was like, a DDT, Lakeisha. The number of concussions that I'm sure we got just from DDTs alone. If you could DDT somebody, that was the ultimate. If you can get somebody and DDT him, that was it. The DDT, man, that's crazy. But now Bobby Jackson stuff, we left that to the girls. Let y'all sit over there, Bobby Jackson. We listen. I'm talking about the age, the prime years or the years where we could care less what the girls were doing. Things changed when we could care what y'all were doing. That's when life changed for us. But that period of time where we didn't care what the girls in the neighborhood were doing, they weren't allowed to be with us, they weren't allowed to play with us. Y'all go do girl stuff, except for that tomboy girl. The tomboy girl she was in there. There you go, Lakeisha. You was in there. Girls, y'all were doing girl stuff. We ain't had nothing. We didn't need y'all until it was time to play a decent game of hide and go get. When it was time for a good game of hide and go get, then we needed y'all around. But until that time, y'all were girls. Ew, girls. It was okay to think girls were icky. It wasn't gay. It was what life was supposed to be. A lot of y'all girls don't know that tomboy girl was the first girl you ever had a little crush on. Everybody liked the little tomboy girl because she was around. There was a point where things changed a little bit, where you was wrestling with the tomboy girl at first, then later on, it was pretty much foreplay. It won't even wrestling no more. You was pretty much trying to cop a feel. She didn't know she was still a tomboy girl, or maybe she did know, and she had let the tomboy out and become a hoe. But that's not the question. It used to be like that, man. Just playing outside was just a joy. And then when we got bikes, when we got a bicycle, oh, butterfly in the sky. I could fly twice as high. Once we got bicycles, the world was now our oyster. We simply only had, there was two types of kids when I was growing up. It was kids with parents with discipline, and then it was wild children. Kids who, it wasn't Negro knocking Delisa, but I know what you're talking about. There was no ring doorbells. Go knock on Mr. Smith's door and run off. Be out. That's why we were so athletic. It's things that we did. We went outside. When we got our bikes, the world became our oyster. Because you only had two types of kids. Kids whose parents had rules and kids who didn't. Where the wild things are. So you could get you a bike. The world was open to you. Because the only rule that you had was to be back home before the street lights came on. Parents didn't care where you went. It was no phones. There was no cell phones. Nothing. Just go out. Just go. Just be back home before the street light came home. That was it. And then you had the kids who didn't have rules, and they were allowed to just be outside, period. Kids with no parent, with no parental guidance, or especially when we was in the hood, whose parents was already in illegal activities and stuff like that, they never had to go in the house. In my day, you could go Lincoln Park, Ida Barber, Jeffrey Wilson, Parkview, all those neighborhoods, Academy Park. There was always some kids who never had to go in the house. They never had to go in the house. You was like, you ain't got to go in the house. I ain't never got to go in the house. I'm going to stay outside till forever. They just never had to go out. They never had to go in the house. It was crazy. Delisa said, we just checked in. You had those parents. You check in. Mom, man, can I stay outside a little longer? Go ahead. His mom was on the phone call. She didn't want you in the house listening to grown folk conversations. Go on outside. You stay close now. I need to be able to see you from this door. That was what they said. That was parenting. The candy lady, you going to some strange woman's house, into her back door, into her kitchen, to buy candy. On corner stores, candy lady house. Just a strange lady. You didn't know her. Nobody knows that candy lady's name. That was just a lady that you go in her house And usually you had two candy ladies in the neighborhood. You had a nice candy lady and the mean candy lady. The mean candy lady had all the good candies. The nice candy lady just won't getting it done. The nice candy lady won't get it done. And I don't even know where she was getting her candy supply from, because we ain't had no Sam's Club. I don't even know where she was getting bulk candy from. Straight from Columbia. Iceberg ladies. Like Andre had to be home before the 9 o'clock gun. That was a gun that goes off in the city of Portsmouth. Boom. You heard it every night at 9 o'clock. Still goes off to this day. It's so ingrained in my system that I don't even hear it anymore. It's crazy. Keith, y'all had a candy man? Oh, we was flirting with death. We was flirting with death. You had a candy man? You just rolling up in some strange man's house for candy? Oh. We lucky to still be alive. Lucky to still be alive. As I got older, things changed. You had to be aware of stuff. You had to know different things. As you got older, as you started hitting teenage years, you got street savvy. That's when you started realizing certain neighborhoods didn't get along with other neighborhoods. When I was in, I think about the 9th grade, Parkview and Outer Barber didn't get along. They were having vicious rivalries. Portsmouth and Norfolk didn't get along at all. If you was from Portsmouth, you had no business being in Norfolk. If you was from Norfolk, you had no business being in Portsmouth. I got jumped one time by some guys from Norfolk. I'll never forget it. I used to have great hats. My hat collection was, even as a kid, my hat collection, superb. I had bought a hat one time, man, and I went to this girl's house in a neighborhood that wasn't mine. I went out there by myself. I actually walked to this girl's house. And there was some guys. I didn't realize that she was a woman of ill repute. She was not what you would call a one man girl. She had quite a few. So I went to go see her, and apparently she had invited some gentlemen over from Norfolk, and these guys were older. You know, they had a vehicular. You know, they were able to drive. There was well, there was a toll. There was a tunnel. There was a toll on a tunnel, but maybe this was after the toll. Whatever. They were able to get over to the other side of the water. And it was about 4 of them. Some things ensued when they saw me leaving her house. This was during the middle of the day. I'm leaving her house. They see me, and I want what they would call a punk in these days. You know, I let them know what I had to say about it. You know, and my mouth vicious. As a youth, I hadn't learned not to cuss and not to immediately go after people's mamas when you're retorting. I was just fancy free, foot loose and fancy free. And it led to them jumping me to steal my hat. And but I took the approach when getting jumped. It's 4 of them. You got to at least go after one. You got to let one have it. There's 4 of them jumping. You focus on one. The blows are coming from the other 3. I was lucky. Back then, the guns weren't man, it took a lot to get a gun back in the day. If you had a gun, you was pretty much Scarface. It was some guys who had them. Just none of the guys that I knew. Well, I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to not put them out there, the guys that I knew. But it was crazy because those same guys, there were some North guys, they must have been making the rounds of the women in Portsmouth. Because I remember how it went growing up. Everybody thought the women elsewhere looked better. When I was at Wilson, we thought all the girls at Norcom was cute. But I knew the guys at Norcom thought all the girls at we were like, we don't want none of these Wilson girls. Poo on them. We'll take them because they're here. We'll settle for them. We want the women over there. Then the guys at Norcom are like, we don't want these Norcom girls. The Manor girls are great. And the Manor girls are the ones you want. And the guys at Manor, you don't want them, you want the crowd girls. Everybody thought everybody else in school had better women. So Norfolk guys thought the Portsmouth girls were better. All right, man. Have a great day, man. Love you. I'll see you later on this evening, man. I got a gig, so I'm not gonna pick you up from school. Okay. All right, love you. That's what we thought. These were the thoughts in our mind. I think you're supposed to be breaking in your jersey to get washed. I don't think you heard me. But it was so much, right? These guys happened to know one of the girls in my neighborhood. When I got home after being jumped hours later because I had to walk home, I let the other ruffians in my neighborhood know, the fellas, the guys. There was nothing like neighborhood pride. You know, you had your squabbles within the neighborhood, but the whole neighborhood could come together to support. I told the guys in my neighborhood what was going on. And it so happened that one of the young ladies in the neighborhood knew the guys from Norfolk. So she sat around and she called them and enticed them to come visit her later because they didn't know that was the neighborhood I was from, and they came to visit later. And I believe they received one of the greatest behind whoopings of life. It was a proud day for me to see the neighborhood come together, to see Black unity in the way that it was. But as you got older, you started to learn all the different things in neighborhoods. You started finding out some guys went towards drugs, and I played sports, so the old heads wouldn't let me get involved. I wanted so bad to be a drug dealer. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be. My mama wouldn't buy me name brand clothes and shoes. My mama wouldn't buy me name brand clothes and shoes, but I seen the drug dealers all have name brand clothes and shoes. I wanted those things. Those guys were great guys. They were able to go to the store and buy stuff. It was great times. I want that. Can I please turn baking soda to crack? But I was playing sports at the time. I was running track, playing football. And the drug dealers knew if you had that kind of a future, that was where the rules were back then. No, you got a future because you playing them sports. We're not letting you in. We not because you playing on sport. There was sometimes where the drug dealer will become an athlete, but if you were already an athlete, they won't let you in that world. It was rules of engagement back then. We don't have those now, but back then it was rules to it. They treated it differently, and I'm grateful for it. We had guys that were in the band. We had some real great guys that was in the band. Those guys, boom, boom, boom. Now, I hadn't figured out exactly how to sell drugs because he might have played the oboe, but he wasn't a band guy. Like my cousin, he was a saxophone player, played saxophone for Bill Clinton's inauguration, everything. Like he was a real deal. They won't let that happen. He won't allow to sell drugs. I had another friend that played trumpet. He played trumpet all night long. Like my neighborhood had some real band guys. We had some real athletes, guys who ended up going very far in athletics. We did not. They didn't play that, right? So you did it. If he played the oboe, that was just his cover story. Nobody's serious about the oboe. They play the oboe. They're not serious about music. Nobody's serious about music started off playing the oboe. That was just a cover story. That was just somewhere for him to be. I hadn't figured out how to sell drugs for real because my mama didn't let new stuff come in her house. If I came in the house with something new, my mama was on it. I mean, because she knew what she purchased. My mama won't let nothing new come in the house. Wait, where you get shoes from? You a lie. These is John Boy. You ain't got no business having John Boy. Because see, my mama always knew she couldn't afford to replace whatever I messed up. Oh, no, I borrowed these from Thomas. You give Thomas his shoes back. I can't afford something if you mess Thomas's shoes up. That's all my mama thought of. Different. Now, no, it was a different time back then. Now, the oboe player can go to school for free now, but it's different. And Snoop is saying it because his wife is one of the top 5 band directors in the world. So that was it. Yeah, you used to be like, my friend let me borrow. They know they was your. Where you get a new shirt from? Take it right. Take it back now. You go over there right now. Matter of fact, take them off your feet, walk over there barefoot, and bring your shoes back. Because your mama was upset with the level of disrespect you had for what she bought. You go back and get them shoes. I paid $19.99 for them Etonics. You go back and you get those Etonics back. Okay, my mom, I like these Etonics. They keep joking on me in school because I wear Etonics. I want some Nike. Why I can't get my Air Max? Don't you break nothing? Nothing in here. Don't you come to nothing in here in this house that I ain't purchased. I couldn't buy nothing. Where did you get money from? Listen, everybody must have, all us had the same mama. Thomas don't have no job and you don't either. And sometimes it came in handy. My mom's car got stolen one time. I knew exactly who stole it. I knew who the car thieves were in the neighborhood. My mom's car got stolen. She called the police. The police, like, they came out and did a report. So my mom, don't even worry about it, man. I had it back in an hour. I was like, let me go outside. I got it. I went to the dude. Hey, man, y'all stole my mama car. Let me get that back, cuz. I had to work out a deal with the guys that stole my mama's car. Hey, man, let me get that back. It's my mama's. Oh, my bad, dog. I didn't even know it was your mama's car. Did that. It's crazy. It's crazy times. My mama hated it. If you had a pair of jocks, you was up there. Pony. Let me tell you something. There was all kinds of animal shoes. I didn't always get ponies, but I had a pair of Ruse. No. I didn't get them. I wanted a pair of Ruse. Ruse had the pocket for your lunch money, and you could zip your lunch money up in your Ruse. Ruse were a fantastic shoe. But I grew up in there, and in that time that I was growing up, I did have a pair of jocks. Those were my athletic shoes. My mom bought me a pair of jocks to play football in. I was playing flag football. My mom bought me a pair of jocks. I'll never forget it. I held on to those shoes like they were the greatest thing ever. So as I got older, I started seeing the drug culture, different things like that. We would get into it. No other neighborhoods would come in. They would be fighting, all kinds of stuff. You knew every car that was in your neighborhood. You knew who owned that car. You know who drove it. Anytime. When I was growing up, it's right when the drive-by started becoming popular. I believe that the great Negro poet Montel Jordan sang about a glorious day when all the gangbangers forgot about the drive-by. And all my gangbangers forgot about the drive-by. That was a glorious, glorious day. So you were able to know, you knew every car that came on the block. If a car came through there, we could be in mid-conversation, sitting on somebody's porch, sitting on the green boxes. Hey, dog, man, it was crazy. It's school day. Man, I had 9 extra French fries. And you see a car drive through slow, everybody stop talking. We'd be like, man, and your feet begin to be ready to run. This comes somebody driving slow. A slow driving car is not what you wanted. You knew every car in the neighborhood. I've kept that mentality. I know every car in my neighborhood. I see the cars. I'm a good neighbor. I try to speak to my neighbors when they drive through. I see them. Hey, what's up, man? Y'all good? Wave at all my neighbors. Yesterday, I'm one person. I'm one person. I don't create a lot of trash. So usually on trash day, I literally could just put my trash can out every other week. But usually on trash days, there's usually a lot of trash in my trash can. I actually have 2 trash cans. I don't know why. And don't tell the city. They might repossess one of my trash cans. So I always got room in my trash can. I looked out. My neighbor, he had filled his trash can up. He put 2 bags of trash on the side. They go to freeze up. Look at the city. They own me. Boy, the city be on me. They know I got gold in there with that extra trash can. Y'all hold on. I'm coming right back. If you watch the show frequently, you know we end up sometimes with the picture freezing. And we push through. I get on the IT department. I talk to them about it, and we make it right. So there we go. See, I'm back. So I was looking yesterday, and I saw one of my neighbors had their trash. They had trash beside their trash can. And I did the neighborly thing. I did. I went out there and I took his trash that he had sitting on the side and I put it in my trash can because I had room. I had room in my trash can. So I went ahead and did the neighborly thing. I noticed everything in my neighborhood is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You gotta be aware. I know all the cars in the neighborhood, everything, right? They keep telling us that there's a recession here in this country. I guess we're not in a recession. Somebody try to tell me we're not. I guess we bouncing back. They be like, black people ain't got no money no more. I'm going to go ahead and argue that point. I'm going to argue that black people have gotten money at a level that I ain't never seen. I seen a vehicle in my neighborhood I ain't never seen in my neighborhoods ever. In all my times of people getting new cars, I realize we're in a different time, people. Black people, we have come up. We here. We have moved up. We finally got a piece of the pie. And I'm gonna tell you how I know. I seen a vehicle. I'm gonna give y'all like 2 seconds to put in the most impressive vehicle that you've seen in your neighborhood. Just real quick, if you've seen a Maybach, you've seen somebody buy a Maybach in your neighborhood, if you've seen, what's the most impressive vehicle that you've seen somebody, and I'm guarantee you that this vehicle has got your vehicle beat. Snoop said, I seen a Bentley in my neighborhood. Dennis must live in the same neighborhood as Snoop. They seen a Bentley. We see all kinds of BMWs, Benzes, Bentleys, all the. Nope. I'm telling you right now, Shannon. Tell you right now, Dennis. I'm tell you right now, Snoop. Ooh, Aston Martin. Beautiful vehicle. Beautiful, expensive. I seen a Maybach. Been in the Maybach. The late, nice, beautiful vehicle. Tell you what you ain't never seen. I'm gonna tell y'all what you ain't never seen no 30-day tags on, and I just saw it. Huh? Y'all prepare yourselves. Somebody in my neighborhood done went and bought an armored truck. They done went and bought a Brinks vehicle. These Negroes are rich beyond belief. You done went and bought you an armored truck, got it painted. You done went and bought an armored truck. And I know it's tough in Portsmouth. Rose, I know it's tough out here in these streets. That's me in my car. I took a picture. I said, wait a minute. They done went and bought it got 30 days. It's been sitting out there. I was trying to figure out who. It's been out there for days. Y'all gonna tell me black people ain't got no money and we buying armored trucks? That's why God won't let me get rich. Oh, Lord, I done lost an arm. Where did my arm go? My arm is in the couch. I'm telling y'all now. This is why the Lord is holding me back on the funds that I think I deserve in life because I'm buying an armored truck. I don't know what kind of gas you put in there. That's got probably diesel. I don't know what kind of gas you put in. I don't know where you park it. I'm going to tell you another thing. I have a truck, and all my family called me and asked me to move everything. Family, friends, people I barely know. Do you realize how much stuff people gonna ask you to move if you got a old armored truck? That's crazy. Rochelle said, I saw it the other day. It was like, that's a Brinks truck. That's exactly what it is. They done bought a Brinks truck. You won't break into that. I'm tell you that right now. You're doing everything you can. I don't even know if that got a regular alarm or I don't know if that bloop bloops when you get out of it. I don't know what's happening. I have no idea what's jumping on, but I do know they done bought an armored truck. They win. They win life. I don't know how many Stanley Cups they got if they got an armored truck. They must have all the Stanley tumblers. That's probably why they bought it. They're like, we about to go buy us a Stanley tumbler. So go ahead and get an armored truck. We can get an armored truck. So yesterday, I gotta come out and thank all of y'all. You guys are amazing. You guys are amazing, amazing beyond belief. Just I can't even put into words how amazing you guys are. I put out there that I wanted to get 10, that I was getting 10 cases of water for Portsmouth Volunteers for the Homeless, and y'all started pitching in. Everybody started sending me money, and I kept telling everybody it didn't matter how much, how little, all of it added up. It got real crazy here. So here's a final picture of us. Those are a lot of the cases of water. That's not even all of them. So that's me. There goes Snoop over there in the NSU stuff. He came in the pinch. My man Gabe, my man Kerry. We were there dropping the stuff off. Those are just some of the cases. That was one of the trucks that had waters in them. There was another vehicle that we had waters in. We could have used that armored truck. Now that I think about it, this is on the back of my truck. We just put a whole pallet of waters on there. We put a whole pallet of waters on there. So what started off as us doing, as me saying I'm going to give 10 cases of water to Portsmouth Volunteers for the Homeless, ended up being 120 pallets, 120 cases of water, 120 cases of water. It was so much water, they ain't even really had nowhere to put all the water. They was kind of struggling to find places to put water. They were like, we just got water all over the place. They was putting it in rooms and bathrooms. So they got enough water really to get them through for a minute. And I would love just thank you so much for all that y'all done. That armor truck would have been clutch. Thank y'all so much for everybody that pitched in and got it. And I know some people want their person, and I can do a list and let everybody know these are the people that donated, or I can host. A lot of people were like, yo, I just want to donate. You gotta let everybody know. So thanks so much for everybody that came out and made that happen yesterday. The director was brought to tears, and she's just been eternally thankful, man. And even the guys, there were some of the guys who use the facility, some of the guys who are in between blessings. They came and they helped take stuff off. One of the guys was like, hey man, y'all have been lifesavers to us, man. So whatever we can do to help. So they were helping take the water off of the thing. It was crazy, man. Like I had to literally like keep fussing at this one guy. He was like, dog, I just got out of dialysis. I shouldn't even be out here moving these waters. I was like, man, if you don't sit down, he's like, no, man, y'all cared enough to do this. I'm gonna help. And I was like, I need you to sit down though. What is you doing with your life? It's like, sit down. You just got out of dialysis. Go, you do this. Then when we got finished loading all those waters, 100 cases of water we taking in, they like, y'all need a bottle of water? I like, man, I don't want to see no water for a long time. I'm not even gonna shower for the rest of the month. I don't want to see no water ever. It was crazy. So we had a good time with that, man, and everybody seemed to be helped. And so it was your benevolence that led us to that point. So that was that. That was a good thing. Weird question of the day. I already talked about the armored truck. That was one of the things I want to talk about. The water. I had a topic, and this was just a lady topic. So I now have a daughter. You know, my daughter just turned 18. Crazy. She's a whole grown up now. So she's a whole grown up now. So she does grown up people stuff, I guess. But she's always been a woman, you know. Oh, yep. Yesterday we were there. Yes. Portsmouth Volunteers for Homeless does take clothing donations too. So now I'm kind of in this Portsmouth Volunteers for the Homeless. I'm gonna give y'all a break for what is January. I'm gonna give y'all a break for February. March, we're gonna have another drive. I think March is gonna be my detergent drive, if I'm not mistaken, because they got wash machines. They were like, they always need detergent. So I think March is gonna be my detergent drive. I know now listen, if we end up taking 110 things of detergent, that's gonna be crazy. But if y'all just give and we get as much detergent as possible, and listen, when we get the detergent, I'm telling y'all now, they already asked us to get good detergent. They was like, don't just bring them super sudsy from Dollar Tree, because we don't want the people, just because they're homeless don't mean that they don't deserve quality stuff. So we want to make sure we're getting Tide and Gain and all that kind of stuff. And also a lot of times those lower level detergents, you rather have your clothes dirty because you end up scratching and itching like you done got that. So that's gonna start. We're gonna do that. So this is January. I won't beg in February. March, I'm gonna come through and be like, hey, Let's get this. And I might do a clothing thing in February because then ain't nobody got to buy nothing. So February might be our clothing drive. So get ready in February for us to do clothing. And then March, we'll wash the clothes that we gave. So February, prepare yourself, ladies. You got some stuff in there. And listen, here's the hard part. When we do this clothing drive and we give people stuff, y'all remember, don't be judgmental of people that you see that are homeless in clothes. And here's why I'm going to say it like this. Because a lot of times we see homeless people and we judge them based on what they got on. We be like, man, no, you got on a pair of Bugle Boy jeans. You can't be homeless. But you forget that somebody who owned Bugle Boy jeans passed those Bugle Boy jeans down. And that's why they're there. So now it's almost like a catch-22. They in a nice pair of pants and a nice shirt. You be like, oh, they not homeless because they got on nice clothes. Like, no, somebody donated the clothes. We can't judge people based on their clothing. Like, there's not a homeless uniform. Like, it's not a homeless uniform. You got to realize, like, people actually give. So you got to make sure as many. Not, I don't see it as often in men, but a lot of men do. As many people that thrift store shop, when a lot of y'all go out there thrifting and you go and find a little nice something in the thrift store and you end up looking good. Make sure you don't judge people based on what they wearing. That's what Snoop told me yesterday. Apparently Snoop told me that yesterday. Oh, we'll do clothes and shoes. Don't judge them on their shoes. Not gonna lie. When I see somebody and they ask for money in a pair of Jordans, that's a pet peeve of mine. I'd be like, I don't even have no Jordans. How does this work? But I got to get my own self. I'm preaching to me too. The Jordans is what gets me to that point. But you never know who's got to go get job interviews, different things like that. So they want to be able to be presented because they're temporarily between houses. Tam says you can also volunteer to donate and to serve dinners. I do it often. It's humbling. It's a blessing to be a blessing. So right next to Postal Volunteers to the Homeless is Oasis. Oasis always needs volunteers to help with the serving. I've done the serving and it is humbling. And it's humbling because everybody that comes to eat ain't necessarily homeless. Like, people drive up. Like, there's a whole lot of people that pull up in their cars to Oasis because they got enough, but they just can't. They don't have enough to eat. They got another the car. You still have in America, and even in where I live now, no matter where you are, there is a segment of people who are the working homeless. Meaning they got a job, they go to work every day, but they ain't got nowhere to live. They living in a car, they living wherever. They go to work every day. They just ain't got enough to get them over the top. So no matter what it is, there's so many obstacles. Like, the fact that we are freely allowed to tell people, no, you can't come in here. So I don't know if the federal government could come through and figure out a way to be like, hey, here goes some protections for people who decide to rent out their home unhoused. Here's some protection for people who decide to rent out their homes or apartments. And if somebody has to be evicted, here's a way for us to cover you. We can give you that money back to, whatever reason, so that people don't always, it's hard to get an apartment. People be like, you don't have no credit, you can't get an apartment. You got evicted in 1986, you can't get an apartment. You be like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, what are we, how does this work? Like, for some people, the struggle is just trying to find somewhere to go. And now they've raised rent so high, it's crazy. Like, if you have somewhere, you're like truly blessed. So let's not always just judge people. Like, we got to figure out a way to make it possible for people to be able to live somewhere. Like, we just need to be able to live. No mailing. Some people don't have a mailing address. So you start saying, we want to hire you. What's your address? Boom. There's different things. Like, some of them, and they do great jobs, like Postal Volunteers for the Homeless, Eggleston. There's a lot of great places that help them go over some of the tiny things that we take for granted, like being able to get an identification card. Why do I need ID to get ID? The great Negro poet Mos Def said it. Why do I need ID to get ID? If I had ID, I wouldn't need ID. It's so crazy that every 5 to 10 years, I'm no longer me. It's a setup by the government. I'm no longer me. I can go to DMV and got to reprove that I'm myself. Here I am with my ID. This is the ID that you issued me, that you gave me, saying that I'm me. I'm coming back. My picture's on it. All of that's me. I still got to come back, give you a birth certificate. This. Why? I'm still the same me I was yesterday. There's nothing worse than that day before your birthday and your license is expiring. You're like, that's a grown-up birthday problem. Grown-up birthday problems is not what kind of cake you getting. None of that is my ID getting ready to expire. I gotta go renew my ID. It's crazy. People don't know about the number of kids that go to school from hotels because they're in between housing. Like, you just don't know. It's a lot out there. I might be a better me than I was 8 years ago, but I'm still me. At the end of the day, my identity didn't change. It's crazy. Let me lighten the subject up. It's funny that I would say light because this is a heavy topic. I know this could be a light or heavy topic. So yesterday I was thinking about my daughter. Her birthday happened. Her little boyfriend took her out to the movies. Her friend threw her a surprise birthday party. She still hasn't told me about it. So I realize now I'm no longer my daughter's best friend. That's the hardest part for me out here in these streets. I used to be my daughter's best friend. I'm not no more. I've been replaced. She lives with new people. She has her own way. I don't know if my best friend with my daughter was only because she needed me to survive. Like, she didn't have food and shelter without me. So she might as well go ahead and play it nice with me. Now that she got her own food, shelter, clothing, all that, she don't need me no more. And it's okay. I understand it. But I'll say this. I think about my daughter all the time, and my daughter probably had a surprise party yesterday. I go in her room, I see some of her lady products. She's got some lady products in her room. I was just a placeholder, Lakeisha. That's all I was. I see some lady products. I don't talk to my daughter about her lady time. Lady time is her time. I don't. If her aunt's coming to visit, I don't want to know. They be like, listen, that ain't for me to know. We good. That's your aunt. You let your aunt come by. Not my sister. But she's your aunt. Ladies, I'm gonna ask you this. I just thought about it. She had a party, and I think this is around her time for visitation. I think it might be time for visitation. So I'm asking y'all, ladies, does your aunt ruin occasions? How many occasions have been ruined by your aunt? Fellas, have you ever had a time where her aunt has come by and it ruined everything? You were just like, ooh, I'm about to take her on this romantic trip. Like, somebody's aunt gonna be here on Valentine's Day. You planning on going in, and ain't nothing. We catch up on the hot dog. You planning a romantic evening, like, hey, look, we're gonna go sit by the pool, nah. No, we not. We not going swimming. Nah, can't happen. Lakeisha said, I'm just waiting on menopause. Go ahead and take all that out. Lakeisha was like, it does it ruin it? No, that's crazy. Fellas, do you keep up? Fellas, if you're in a relationship, if you're married, you seen a couple of people, do you keep up with their schedules? Do you keep up with their schedules? Do you know when it's fitting to happen? Do you be like, let me check my calendar. Oh, it's on its way. Now, I know some women have some telltale signs. Some women, they start getting tender body parts. They be like, oh, tender up in here. You can't really go by. Fellas, don't ever try to go by bloating. That'll get you cut. That'll get you cut, brother. You start be like, you look a little bloated. I'm not on my period. Then you die. So you got to really be careful on those kinds of things. Ain't no fun there. Z say sometimes you can get it to sync with the other people in his life. Fellas, that's what you want. If you can get all the women in your life, if you can just have, I believe they used to call it in fraternities and sororities, Hell Week. If you can just have one Hell Week where everybody in your family is on at the same time, that'd be great. All the women, your wife, your daughters, everybody, 1 week. Why don't women talk more about it? I don't know, Lakeisha. I think that's one of them things nobody wants to hear about. I ain't gonna lie to you. For men, it's such a that's just a subject where look, if everybody, what if just nature made all women in the world same time? It would be so much easier. That's what we messed up, God. When you gave it to Eve, you didn't give everybody the same cycle. If everybody got it from the 21st to the 28th, oh no, that would ruin Christmas. If everybody got it on the 15th, the 16th through the 19th. Why don't people talk about what more? Menopause or just so I think my aunt first came by, and my daughter was one of the days that I had my daughter. Was not prepared. Was not ready. Wasn't ready. That first time, and they think they finna die. No, sir. Can't do it. I didn't know what to do. I just made an emergency call to her mama. I was like, man, you're not ready to handle it. You know, you just drop her off in the emergency room. I don't know what's happening. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's just so much blood. You just drop off in the emergency room. You call an old priest and a new priest. You just standing outside. It's a lot. There's a lot. Tim said, I definitely know when she's in town. You got different hints, I guess. Her attitude a little off. Your mom talked about flashes and night sweats. Now that's what they say that women will be like, we don't want the blood, but y'all will take the sweat. Which one would you rather have, the blood or the sweat? Because they all lead to the tears. It's all blood, sweat, and tears. Everybody's crying. She's crying. He's crying. You got that week, sir, where you backed up like Monitor Merrimack traffic. Like you backed up like the HRBT. It's crazy. I love that Tamitha Brown is talking about perimenopause. That's something that's not often talked about, and it should be. It's an important conversation for women and couples. I guess perimenopause is when you ain't there yet. You closer to there than you've ever been. Is that what that is, Tam? You get in on both sides of it. You starting to step into it. You stepping on the toes. Okay, yeah, that's when you on the way. Now, is it a black people on the way? Because black people say they on the way. They ain't even left the house yet. Or is it a real on the way? And Tabitha Brown is talking about it. I'm concerned about Tabitha. Tabitha's been seeming a little off. She's going more. She was solidly Tabitha Brown, and I liked her. She had a cheery disposition, but I think people are starting to get into Tabitha. Life is starting to get to her. She's becoming more of a Tabitha Badu. Good morning, Candace. I pray for you this morning, Candace. Not saying that everybody else isn't important, but I decided today was my Candace prayer day. So I pray for you this morning, Candace, and you know why. Tam says when your body's about to. No, let's not say that. I want you to because when I think about somebody transitioning, I don't think about them just no longer producing eggs. I need you to say your body's about to become. Yeah, I can't talk about Bama football every day, Tim. The women folk in here get all upset. I talked about football for 5 minutes the other day. Women were threatening to get off the show. Sports. You add a sports to. Right. Keisha was like, is it like a death? Stop saying transition. Change. The old women would say, I'm going through the change. And that's fine. Change is fine. I got change all over the place. Change is good. Say change. Sheesh. All right, I'm going to get out of here, man. Let me give y'all the word for the day. Please don't be something that has anything to do with transitioning, because today's word of the day is a harangue. 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 And this has nothing to do with getting married, or I seen my wife outside. I was mad because she ain't have on her ring. No, that's not what this is. Let me type in the spell Harangue. Harangue. Coach Baker said, talk about it. Football, talk about it. Shout outs to Coach Baker and the Omega Psi Phi chapter over in Portsmouth, Virginia, the graduate chapter. I'm actually going to be honored by them on National Women's Day, which kind of put me at odds. I didn't know how that feel. It's National Women's Day, but I'm a man. I didn't know there was something that had happened to me if I'd gone through a transition. But yeah, Coach Baker, man, I played football for Coach Baker for multiple years. Never knew my name. And that was a rough time for me. He never called me by my name. He always called me Nicholson, and I didn't know who Nicholson was. And so I was like, who is Nicholson? And that's what Coach Baker called me the whole time I played football for him, was Nicholson. And I'm like, that's not my name. But he didn't care. Which showed to me I was a better track athlete than football player. Because had I been a great football player, he would have known my name without question. All my track coaches knew my name because I was an excellent, phenomenal track athlete. Football player, I was one of the guys that made sure you had a complete team. Not necessarily a bench rider, but also not going to be your star. And so he didn't really know my name. I was Nicholson. It's not my name. But anyway, a harangue is a forceful or angry speech or piece of writing. After watching the popular documentary, he delivered a long harangue about the dangers of social media. Harangue. Coach Baker was here. Coach Baker gave us multiple harangues. Multiple harangues. After every game, it seemed like we got a different harangue. That's what coaches do. I did not hurdle, Lakeisha. I was afraid of the hurdles. I feel like I could have. And when I started getting recruited, I was getting recruited to run the heptathlon and the decathlon and get all of those because I was able to do all of them. I did sprints and mid-range and all that stuff. And I did the long jump. I didn't triple jump, didn't have a rhythm. So yeah, but hurdles, won't doing it. I was afraid of the hurdles. I ain't gonna lie. That first trip is that one that's gonna get you. So no, didn't do it. Nicholson! That's what Coach Baker called me all the time. Whole time. I was just Nicholson. It's crazy. Nicholson! So there's that. All right, I'm getting ready to get out of here. Last thing before I go, man. Sometimes you got to continue on pushing on. Oh, I could beat Cat Williams running backwards and running like a normal human being. Did you see him running? No one runs fast with their hands up here. When I saw him running with his hands up here, I already knew his form was so horrible that I knew he won't fast for real. Y'all let that thing fool. He was progressing, but he won't progressing. When you run like this, I already know you're not fast. You're not fast running up here. This right here, when you running elbows first, locomotion. There's some coaches in the room. Snoop, you've been a coach for a long time. You ain't seen no fast kid run with their hand up there. Unless it was like at Special Olympics. But you ain't never seen no fast kid. All the fast players that you've coached, coach, you ain't never seen none of the fast players run with their arms up here. That is not technique for speed. Ever. I even ran middle distance. I ran every race under a mile when I was in high school. Every race under a mile. It was absolutely. Coach Baker said, now he loves my show. That's the whole thing. Listen, stick in there, guys. At a certain point, that coach that couldn't remember your name will come back and tell you they love your show. Coach Baker couldn't remember Nicholson. I was like, I'm not Nicholson, coach. But you could not go when the coach called you, because anybody who's played high school sports, when the coach calls to put you in the game, you go get in the game because the coach called you. And he ain't going to call your name but once. Nicholson! Where's Nicholson? You know what? You get in there, Smith. So you got to be ready. I used to always tell kids when I coach, stay near me. When I'm coaching, stay beside me. You want to get in the game, stay near me. Because I'm going to look up. See, it's about positioning. It's about position. People, listen, football is life. I tell people all the time, there's so many life lessons in football if you actually sit there and listen. Life, you got to stay in position. Even if it's not necessarily your time, stay in your position and be prepared. You got to stay near the coach, be in position and be prepared. Because the coach is going to turn, Nicholson, get in there. And if he got to call you twice, it's not going to happen. Nicholson, and coach ain't got time to look for you. He ain't going to look for you. Go, Nicholson. All right, Nicholson ain't here. Smith, you get in there. Now, Smith done got in there to go the game-winning touchdown because you won't paying attention. Coach going to respect me, cuz. Go call me by my name. All right. Look, you had a kid you call Hot Nuts. Hot Nuts! Now, I don't know if you can yell out, give me, or I need. Give me Hot Nuts. Wait, what? Y'all heard me? I need Hot Nuts. Wait, what? Coach. This isn't even Atlanta football. All right. So, last story, then I'm out. Yesterday, I'm in the crib. No, yesterday I'm at Cookout. If you don't know what Cookout is, it's a restaurant where you can get 75, 80 different meats for $1. So I'm at Cookout, give me a barbecue sandwich. I'm just sitting. One of my boys texts me. It's a power in people believing you. One of my boys texts me. He's like, hey, man, I'm watching these comedy specials. It's a series of comedy specials. I think you should have been on there because you could have killed it. And he tells me what the name of the special. He's like, the name of it is Keep Your Distance. And I was like, oh, I went out there in 2020, recorded for Keep Your Distance. I did. I recorded for that show. And he's like, I'm on like episode 6. I ain't seen you yet. And I was like, yo, that's crazy. So I know that my man Kev on Stage had put it on his app. So I go to Kev's app and I'm on episode 6 on the app. So I'm like, yo, I should be on this episode. I won't on the episode. So now I look like a liar. Now I look like I'm out here Cedric the Entertainer. I look like a fat Faison lie. I look like a fat Faison lie. That's what I look like, right? So then I asked him, I said, man, what you watching on Kev's app? He's like, no, I'm watching on Netflix. And immediately my nipples got solid. I was excited. My nipples was solid. Solid nipple. But that's not what happened. It wasn't that. Then the next text was, oh, no, my bad, not Netflix. And then I was like, if he hits me with Tubi, I'm going to just jump out of the car and run over myself. He's like, I'm watching it on Amazon Prime. I was like, that's great. Amazon Prime, fantastic. Prime Video, here I come. Go to Prime Video. I find out that I'm on episode 9. I'm on episode 9. I hit him back. I'm like, I'm on episode 9. He's like, I'm going to stop watching. I'm going to go watch episode 9. So I'm on episode 9 on Keep Your Distance on Amazon Prime. If you get a chance to check it out. Oh, nope, that's the wrong one. That was the one on Kev on Stage's app, episode 6. I was on that one, Teddy Ray. I'm on episode 9. It was the holiday edition. It actually aired on Thanksgiving morning, which was dope. That episode actually aired on Thanksgiving. Like you could watch it on Thanksgiving. You can sit around with your family, watch it on Thanksgiving. It was a good time. It was cool. It was cool as a fan. It was cool to be a part of. You can watch it on Thanksgiving. So there's Thanksgiving material. So like if you watch it, just know I shot it. I was in LA, shot it. There goes volume 9. The third person from the top, the thumbprint, that's me. Listen, I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I am portly. That camera put on like 1,000 pounds. I am portly in there. It was during the pandemic. It was definitely during the pandemic. So we were outside. The thing, it was outside. It was cold. I didn't know it got cold in Southern California. I knew it never rained. Didn't know it got cold. It was outside. It was cold. We had a limited audience because you couldn't have a lot of people. So it was a lot of places that you had to pull energy from. But it was a great time. It's on there. I did a set on there. I talked about everything from the McRib to my grandmama. So you got to go check. And I know it's hard to figure out what the McRib and my grandmama has to do with each other. Like, do I vision my grandmama covered in barbecue sauce? No, but there was a lot happening on the show. So if you get a chance, if you got Prime, go check it out. And Do it. Tubi's pay structure. Well, Tubi's about to change their pay structure. Tubi's about to stop letting creatives on. Tubi's like, yo, we've been catching too much bad flack. And so there you go. Happy Friday. Tamika says everybody have a great day on purpose today. Man, thank you, Snoop, man, for telling me it's hilarious. It's great. Yes, now you have something to watch at work today. So you just got to look up, keep your distance. I'm in episode 9. Watch all the episodes. All the episodes great. There's some amazing comedians on there. David A. Arnold is on there. R.I.P. Teddy Ray, rest in peace as well. That episode that I'm on, if y'all remember Dominique, back in the day, Dominique is on. Good friend of mine. Tim Shropshire, he's on. Like, y'all check it out. It's a good time. It's a great episode. All right, today's Friday. I got to go over to Newport News. I'm doing comedy for Newport News's, all the departments in Newport News. So if you're a city worker in Newport News, surprise, I'll be there today for y'all. Then tomorrow I'm going to Carolina to see my baby girl, take her out to dinner for her birthday. And then Sunday I'm doing something. I forgot it was on. But yeah, I absolutely did not know that I was on. I had no idea. No idea that it had happened. Nobody called me to tell me. And I also hadn't gotten no residual checks. So I'm about to go and check that. I think those come out on Mondays. So every Monday. Well, there you go, Ms. Garris. Well, maybe it might not be. Do you have to go to all departments day or all staff day? Maybe it's just human services. I don't know. But I'm doing something for Newport News today. So don't try to call me out, Ms. Garris, act like I'm lying. I'm definitely over there for Newport News today. So that'll work. And there we go. Yes, and thank you. Dwayne Ping Porter was the person who found me on there and told me that I was on the show. So thank you. Thank you, Dwayne. Good. Some black people just got to have their credit. Yes, you discovered me. Good, good. And now I got people saying they made Hove. Made Hove say, okay, make another Hove. Yes, Mr. Porter found me. He discovered me on the Amazon Prime, because he's one of them people that do deep dives in the Amazon. He just be watching stuff, just be watching it. So if you're looking for the guy, if you say to yourself, who's the first person to watch the Swedish anime porn on Amazon Prime, y'all have him to thank. Y'all have an amazing weekend, man. Make somebody feel good today, even if it just happens to be you. I believe you can do it. Lord willing, the creek don't rise. I'll be back here on Monday. I'm out. Peace.
Kick your shoes off, take a load off. Don't go nowhere till the show's off. Oh, you know it's gonna be a movie when you got Cletus Cassidy on your TV. Yeah, already know Mr. Funny Man. Coming to you and making you laugh again. Started off on the radio, now we got the Cletus Cassidy Show. Funny Man, coming to you and making you laugh again. Started off